so much for your great work.
Oh, Badrang. Thank you for the 420, man. Much appreciated. And what a kind message as well. Thank you. It means a lot to me. I mean, a lot of people think I'm some kind of traitor for not making videos for a year and saying that I was leaving. And then obviously coming back. But I think most people can see why I did that. Because I didn't know. I didn't know what would happen. I didn't know if I'd be able to come back, you know? A lot of things change in life. A lot of things never stay the same. And, well, all I can say is I'm here now. And I'm looking forward to what is going to be our second game between Finland A and China Frantic. Finland A with 1 point on the board after their very first match on Arabia. A fantastic game from the Finns as they now go into the home map of China. It's going to be Seize the Hump. It's quite an unusual map. It's going to be a very strange kind of game style here. As you can see, players starting very close together. We're currently looking at the Finnish team. We've got in the green, Pike playing as the Brits. In the blue, Zuppy playing as the Mongols. In the teal, you've got Max on the Huns once again. And in the orange, you've got Vilis on the Mayans once again. So we do have a very similar Civ combination. The only difference this time is that we've got the Britons in place of the... wait, hold on. We've got Mayans, Mongols, instead of the Spanish. So Britons here instead of the Spanish this time around for the Finnish team. And they're over to the southeast of the map on their starting position. Across to the west of the map, in the yellow, we've got CL. This is Happy Happy. He's playing as the Mayans. In the purple, we've got Whoop once again playing as the Huns. In the grey, we have Tim playing as the Mongols. And in the red, we've got Vivi playing as the Spanish, aka 5CM. So the Frantic team, the Chinese team, taking exactly the same Civ lineup as last time around. But this time, you've got Pike on the Brits instead of the Spanish. It's quite a big change. The Spanish in team games are huge. Their trade bonus can be absolutely massive in the late game, giving you extra gold, giving you more ability to make gold-heavy units. And they're throwing that away in favor of the Britons here. And the Britons, compared to the Spanish, you know, they don't have Paladin. That means that right now you're looking at only one Paladin Civ for the Finnish team, and that's going to be the Huns. Obviously, you've got the Mongols who can go for the Cavalier into the Mangudai, but this Briton player, Pike, has a lot of pressure on now. I think that from this pick, the Finnish team want to play more aggressively. I don't think they want to play, you know, a long game. I think they want to be more aggressive. I think they want to try and finish this early imp. I don't think they want to take this to the post-Imperial Age, because I think the Britons there are going to fall down, and I think the Chinese team are just going to have the Civ advantage. Now, you maybe asking, okay, well, where would they trade? And let's take a look at the map, because the map is a very different style of map. You've got these starting islands, which have all of your starting resources, your boar, your deer, your sheep. And then around it, you have shallows. And these shallows exist throughout the whole map. And this is one of the key things about this map. It makes it very difficult to wall. It makes it very difficult to defend your base. And that's because you can't cover the shallows, right? So no matter where you are, you've got potential to be attacked from all sides. You know, your enemy can loop around the edge of the map and just come in from the back, which means that players are going to want to get quite far inland so that they can't just be left exposed. But they're also going to want to try and wall up between the trees as best they can. It makes it very difficult to do a team wall. And I think that's part of the reason why we see the Brits here as well. I was saying about the Spanish trade, and sure, you could trade on this map from this corner, for example, down to this corner. It would be an okay trade line, and the Spanish, of course, would have great trade along here. But it's so easily raided. You can so easily get in there just by walking along the shallows, because there's no way to truly protect that trade line one way or another. There's also not many thick woods, exactly. Feels bad, man, fat and moist. There aren't many thick woods at all. It's all really thin and very itty-bitty all over the place, making this map a pretty stressful map, in my opinion. I would not like to play this map myself. I think it's a map that requires a lot of attention to your economy because there's just so much raiding potential. It's not like Arabia where, although it's open, you can at least wall it and you know which direction your enemy's going to come from. You know that, okay, well, my enemy's going to come from this side and this side. I'm the left flank. This is the right flank. You know, you got the general idea of it. But in this case, there's no real direction from where your enemies can attack you. They can attack you from everywhere. You've got to be ready for the backstab. You've got to be paying attention 200%. And I think, again, you know, Brits here can work well because cheaper TCs means you can get faster protection for your villagers. A kind of faster mid to early late game, like late castle, early imp. A lot of momentum for the team with the Brits. Obviously, the Chinese team sticking to their guns, sticking to the classic combo, I guess you could say, as things start to get rolling here. Players have to very quickly migrate to the center of the map. Now, this does leave open a lot of opportunities for feudal age aggression because players are forced very far from their town centers. This is the TC for Pike, and this is Pike's berries and woodline. It's miles away. How does he protect that? Well, from a few archers, he can't really protect that. There's no way to protect it unless he's got his own military or some towers. So this map is going to see maybe a little bit more feudal aggression. And we can already see feudal age coming in for both of the Mongol players, Zuppy and Tim, making no mistake about getting to the feudal age ASAP and getting some scouts out to try and get some raiding damage in. CL, happy, already walling up as best he can, making a little bit of a compound for his villagers here. It's not pretty, but it'll do the job for now, protecting him from any potential scout raids. Of course, getting to the castle age is going to be very powerful, but leaving yourself exposed for a long time, going to the castle age can be risky. Here's some scout fighting going on here. Zuppy bringing in a spearman to head off Tim's initial scout cavalry. He's going to get it. A little poke of the pokey stick. Going to take the scout cavalry down. That gives Zuppy the edge over Tim, I feel. Tim has less villagers as well. Tim does have more score, probably due to scouting, really, at this stage of the game. I wish I'd put the dark grey patch on. It's hard to see Tim on the minimap. He's blending in very nicely as the grey player. But look at this. This looks like a bit of a sneaky play from Tim. Tim, the Mongol player, making a few scouts, roaming across the middle of the map. But more importantly, if I'm not mistaken, there he is, sending some villagers forward. This is very, very far. He's on the opposite side of the map to his team. He's got 3 villagers out here. And I want to know what the plan is. Obviously, the Chinese team did pick this map. They've got something up their sleeves. And these 3 villagers moving out now, and we're going to see what he's going to build. It might be another stable. It might be an archery range. It's actually going to be a watchtower. And Tim is coming in with a trush on the opposite side of the map. What's his scouting like? He actually sees a lot of this. Tim's got great vision, and that tower, if it's not spotted by Max, could do a little bit of damage. Max looks like he wants to fast castle this. And Tim's already here with the tower coming up. Max has no vision on the tower. He's walling his villagers in. Will that tower go up quickly? Well, unfortunately, he's not the Spanish, so no bonus build speed. But he will at least have a base now to push from with that tower. Now, I think it's very easy for Max to deal with this. He's got the help of Velise with a couple of spears. He should just rush the tower down quite easily. Of course, Tim's going to try and wall it. And see if he can encroach a little bit further. See if he can get a little bit closer to this exposed economy here. Now, already, everybody up to the feudal age. The scouts from Zuppy doing a little bit of damage over here. They're going to find Vivi, sorry, the Spanish player, of course, taking a lot of stone. And instead of what we saw last time, which is going to be the Spanish players going fast castle into knights, you're going to see the Spanish players going fast castle into conquistadors just because of the raiding potential of the conquistadors here. They're going to be able to shoot over the palisades. They're going to be able to do a lot of damage very quickly. And of course, it does require a castle, but having a castle on this map is very valuable anyway. because with a castle up, you will be able to defend your economy a little bit easier since it's going to be so much more exposed. So the castle, the tower from Tim on the right side, minimal damage. His second tower is going to be denied by the Max here. But I do feel like the Spanish is still a great pick in this match, just because of the Conquistador spam. I mean, the Conquistadors are so good, but fortunately for Zuppy, his tower is in a great place, and he's going to be pushing Mr. VV away from the stone into the clutches of Zuppy's scouts. There's a lot of very low villagers here. I'm surprised Zuppy isn't able to get a single pick off. I'd maybe go for one of these vills, but he wants to keep his scout cavalry alive. There's Tim across the center of the map, retreating away. His 3 villager trush not able to do enough, and he'll back away. And meanwhile, there's not a lot of other action going on the map now, as everybody's trying to get to the castle age. They don't want to stay feudal for too long. That will set them back a long way. Unfortunately for Vivi, he's not going to have enough stone to build the castle here when he gets to the castle age. Speaking of castle age and castles, it looks like nobody's going to have enough stone for a castle for some time. Just cycling through the players there, looking at the stone counts. We will see TCs going down though. Whoop coming up with 1. As Valise starts to raid this compound of Happy here. This is obviously where the archers can do a lot of damage, forcing those villagers away, making things a little bit messy. Very inefficient wood collection here as all the villagers are bumping on each other. And Castle Age is coming in. This is going to be one hell of a messy game. I can feel it in my loins. This game is going to be a mess. This game is going to be a challenge to catch all of the action, because there is going to be a lot of action. Whoop. Going to clean up these 4 archers. No problem for him. +1 defense. Doesn't need bloodlines. Just a few archers. And they're already low. Knights coming straight out. Tim trying to help out his teammate here with some scouts, but Pike roaming around the back with the crossbows. Obviously, those Briton crossbows have a lot of potential to do damage here. You know, we're talking 5+3 range, +2 attack. In your what, lol? You know what I said. And Pike's going for the actual starting economies. Most players are focused on the middle of the map here, but Pike catching some villagers as they walk towards the hump, I guess, which they're trying to seize. And Pike is like, thank you very much. No hump seizing for you. How dare you? Heading him off, taking him down. Pike now as well, raiding this TC, which Happy's trying to get up. He will succeed. But Zuppy's already got a tower here covering it. Can't believe that. The tower right next to the TC. And Happy is going to have to garrison in the TC and take it down, because the villagers here are still under fire from the tower. Even without fletching, that tower has the range onto the stone. Elsewhere on the map, Max is coming in with knights right now, and he's looking to raid. I tell you what, look at the scores already, though. A good 100 score lead for the Finns on average. Looking very good. CL, though, will complete his castle. He will be the first player to get a castle up. That's going to be very important. But look at this. Happy is losing a lot out here. Another tower's going to go up on this TC just to disrupt him. I don't think this tower will be successful. Happy should be able to take this down with his villagers. And this is going to be one hell of a messy game. Valise and Max trying to do what they can to damage... wait, am I saying Happy? This is Vivi. God damn it. Vivi is in red. Happy is in yellow. I wish they'd just use their actual nicknames. I guess we're just going to call them 5CM and CL now. Screw it. I'm not going to translate it all the time because I just keep messing it up. So we're just going to call them by the names that they're going by in the game here. And so CL with that castle up, able to prevent any more damage coming in. Able to protect his villagers. For the Finnish team, I don't see any castles up. But I do see some very split ecos. And I think probably for the Finnish team, the biggest threat that they've got right now, or maybe the biggest problem that they have right now, is that you've got Pike and Zuppy in the south. And then in the far east, you've got Max and Valise. And they're so far apart that there is basically space down the middle of the map between these two areas of economy in the east and south, where the Chinese team can just run in and disrupt things. There's going to be no opportunity to do any kind of team walling. They're just too far apart. They're leaving themselves very open. But I don't think they're too concerned because once again, it's the Finnish team which are being very aggressive. It's the Finnish team which are trying to keep the pressure on and prevent the Chinese team from taking map control, much like in that first game, where we saw them abusing the hole in 5CM's wall. Now, amazingly, I don't know how this happened, but Zuppy's going to actually get a tower up here again. So it's 5CM's TC and still not in a good place, as it turns out. Pike coming in with crossbows now as well. And he's looking for a play. Man, 5CM's having a hard time with his eco here. Struggling to get a lot of villagers out. Every time he feels like he's got some space, another army shows up and starts killing his vills. Tim as well. You know, I don't know what Tim is trying here. But whatever it is, it's not working out too well. I mean, coming across the map with the villagers to build this tower, and they're not really following it up with anything. Tim's in the castle age now, but he's only at 34 villagers. For comparison, the next player on his team is at 43. The whole of the Finnish team is above 40 vills right now. So China falling behind in villager count, and they've got to be careful. There's a lot of military out on the field for the Finnish team. You've got 18 military for Max. You've got 24 for Pike. You've got 30 for Valise. And the Chinese team have about, what's that? Like 15 military between them. The whole of China's team has half the military of Valise, half the military of Pike, and less military than Max. They're playing it too passively, I think. And the Finnish team wants to punish this. They want to push this hard now. They're doing a really good job of it as well. And that's exactly what I was saying right at the start of this game, right? I mean, I said it at the start. The Finnish team want to be aggressive. They don't want to let this game go super late. They want to pressure hard from the start. And they're showing that right now because they have got a lot of military out. And they're roaming around looking for any angle, any place to strike. You see Pike coming around the edge of the map, abusing the shallows to come around to the back of 5CM's base. Going to find some vills in the woodline, no doubt. Max is roaming with his knights, +2 defense and bloodlines, you know. Max is only on 2 TCs right now. So this is, again, really high aggression from him. 2 TCs and then upgrades on his knights. He's not even bothered about the 3rd TC yet. He just wants to do damage. Speaking of damage, Whoop will come in and kill some vills, though. Max does not have fletching, and Whoop does have bloodlines and +1. But Max does have some knights here to deal with this. But there goes Pike once again. They're chasing down 5CM's vills. 5CM taking quite a big hit here. And this is the thing, even though Max is on 2 TCs here. Oh no, sorry, I lied. He is on 3 TCs. I didn't spot this one. But even though the Finnish team is playing so aggressively, they all have more villagers than the Chinese team by comparison. So China need to hold their ground here. Need to be very careful not to get overwhelmed, as the Finns are very much threatening them at the moment. There's still only like 22 military units for the Chinese team. Valise has 33, Pike has 33, 25 for Max. Max is now putting his 4th TC up, so they are going to be getting more eco behind this. But that very, very aggressive start was certainly there. And Pike's still doing damage. Oh my goodness, 5CM. Uh-oh. Losing villagers for free right there. Not so good. That's the Chalcedon cheering for China in the chat. But this does not look good for them. Max all over Whoop with his knights. Pike all over 5CM with his crossbows. And 5CM only has 1 military unit. And that, right now, is a dead mangonel. This guy hasn't been able to catch a break. This TC, his villagers are still dying to this tower from Zuppy. This TC, they were dying from a tower from Zuppy, and now they've got Pike's crossbows on them. 5CM needed a castle here. He needed that castle, and he's not been able to get it. They're crippling him. CL now forced to chase around the back with his plumed archers, looking to take down Max's knights. But boy, oh boy, is this going to be a tough game for China, I feel. It's really starting to run... I guess Finland are really starting to run away with it, is what I'm trying to say. They put them under too much pressure. CL getting a second castle up. I think he's China's main hope right here, to be honest. Whoop is working on his eco. He's got a good number of villagers, actually. I'll give him that. Whoop has a good number of vills. And CL's doing okay as well with his second castle. But Tim and 5CM, I'm really worried about them. Especially 5CM. Look at his position right now. You know, he's got 13, 14, 16 villagers, 17 villagers just idling. These vills, oh no, where are they going? What is he doing? He's gonna run into Max, and Max is just gonna chase him down. Where are those villagers even going? Max is gonna get so many villagers kills for free right here as these villagers run back to the town center. And 5CM has got nothing right now. He needs some help. He needs Whoop to come down and whoop their asses, but Whoop isn't even in town. And now Valise is down here with some crossbows. You've got Pike, Valise, and Max, the trifecta here. The Bermuda Triangle in the center of their three armies. No unit shall survive. As Whoop comes in with his knights, but he is so outnumbered. He's got 16 knights on the field. Meanwhile, Pike's got fucking 41, 47 military, 47 crossbows. What are we watching right now? This is absolute domination. China have played this so passively. Honestly. Up in the north, CL is threatening a little bit out here. I mean, he's trying to do something. He's trying to get some chip damage, I guess, with his plumes. But China's essentially playing 3v4 right now as Pike drops a castle on the TC of 5CM. He's not even got 2,000 points. The next player up has 3,000. That's Zuppy. Zuppy's, you know, been holding back a little bit. But my goodness me, this TC is going down and there's no way to stop it. The eco from the Finns has just been so solid as well. Not to mention now that Max is now in the Imperial Age. Yeah, look at Zuppy. Zuppy's still feudal. This is the funny thing about this, right? Zuppy is still feudal. And I'm pretty sure he's doing some sling. Sending some dropping some towers. But Zuppy's staying full feudal here. And Max is now Imperial. Cavalier is up. As you can see, he is sending his resources out to his teammates. And this has been a really solid sling strat from the Finns. But even without the sling, I think they would have been ahead anyway. They all had more villagers. And, you know, Zuppy's just going around being annoying with the towers. And just like that, after 36 minutes, it's gonna be game. And yeah, I mean, Zuppy had more military than Red, even staying feudal here. Frantic, gonna call GG. And what a ridiculous game. Max had Paladin on the way. And even like Max was receiving the sling, right? Teal was receiving the sling, but Valise and Pike had 60 crossbows at the end of the game. And they were uncontested, untouched. Really a solid game from the Finns there. And exactly as predicted, they wanted to play aggressively. They wanted to end this game before it got too late. And they did exactly that. They had a game plan. They executed it. And they did an incredible job. Frantic never really had a leg to stand on. Especially 5CM. I mean, you got to feel a bit bad for him because he was in a position where, you know, he had no real help from his teammates. Whoop came over with a couple of knights, but that was it. And 5CM, TC came up here. There was already a tower. There was another tower here. He goes for a TC on the left side. Zuppy drops another tower here. He tries to gather stone. Well, Zuppy's already towered it. And wherever he went, the Finns were just one step ahead, and he could never really get a footing on the hump. He could never really seize the hump, which, as the name suggests, is the main objective of this map. Finland, number 1 Hump Caesars will get the victory in game number 2 as well. Will get themselves another point on the board here, making it 2-0 so far, taking China's home map. Nicely done. Let's have a look at how many resources were sent. 6,200 sent, and all of it went to Max.